The Los Angeles Rams won a Super Bowl in the 2021 to 2022 season, where they built a roster that people deemed to be a super team. The Rams beat the Cincinnati Bengals in the Super Bowl in a close game that came down to the wire. They had star players on their team such as Cooper Kupp, Aaron Darnold, Andrew Whitworth, Jalen Ramsey, Von Miller, and Odell Beckham Jr. These players played a part in making sure that they lived up to the hype of being a Super Bowl team. In the 2022 to 2023 season, the Rams lost some key contributors that helped them win a championship last season, like Von Miller, Andrew Whitworth, Odell Beckham Jr., and Darius Williams. Although they lost many of their players that helped them win a Super Bowl, they managed to obtain good players that could significantly contribute to their team. In the offseason, Los Angeles signed Pro Bowl players in free agency like wide receiver Allen Robinson and linebacker Bobby Wagner. It looked certain that the Rams would be able to contend in the NFL and try to repeat as Super Bowl champions. However, the Rams looked like a different team than the roster they had last season. They finished the season with a 5-12 record where they weren't able to meet the expectations of a playoff team that many people set for them. A reason for the Rams' underwhelming season is because of a lot of their players suffering some type of injury. Players like Aaron Donald, Cooper Kupp, and Matthew Stafford all missed a lot of games during the season. This really hurt the Rams' chances of winning games, especially with them playing 8 games against teams with winning records. What's even worse about the Rams having the worst record in the NFL is that they didn't have their pick in the draft. They traded their pick in a deal to acquire Matthew Stafford from the Detroit Lions, which gave the Lions the 6th pick in the draft. Even though the trade for Matthew Stafford ended up working because they accomplished their goal of winning a championship, it also caused the Rams to miss out on gaining a young player that could have played a key part on their team in the future. People can say that last season was just unfortunate due to many of the Rams players sustaining injuries. However, they lost more of their players during the offseason and have not signed other players to gain more or the same amount of production. One player that made a huge impact on their team they decided to trade this offseason was Jalen Ramsey. They traded Jalen Ramsey to the Miami Dolphins and didn't really get a lot in return. The package the Rams received for the All-Pro cornerback was underwhelming, especially for them losing one of their best defensive players. I believe that their defense will struggle tremendously with the loss of not only Jalen Ramsey, but other defensive players they traded, cut from their team, and then re-signed in free agency. Their offense seems to be heading in the wrong direction as well, with Los Angeles not really doing much to increase their offensive efficiency. They still have a good quarterback in Matthew Stafford and an excellent wide receiver in Cooper Kupp. There are also some other reliable players on the offensive side of the ball that can benefit their team, like Van Jefferson and Tyler Higbee. However, I can't really say that I would trust this offense to provide enough points to keep them in games, especially if their defense is unable to create stops and minimize the opponent's points in the game. One thing that gives me hope that the Rams offense will actually be good and be the main reason for the Rams having a successful season is their head coach, Sean McVay. McVay has been seen as an offensive genius that has been able to get his team's offense to a whole nother level. He will have his work cut out for him during the season because he will be dealing with a team that will have a lot of new players. The Rams have missed out on an opportunity to build a dynasty and continue to contend in the NFL. They were unable to be seen as one of the best teams for multiple years and continue their status as a playoff caliber team. Fortunately, they were able to complete their goal of winning a championship, which is what every team wants to achieve. The Rams have gone from Super Bowl champions to a team that is finding its way back into contention. This upcoming season will tell a lot about if they can still have a triumphant season with the roster they have, or have to find another path to gain success in the NFL.